Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to day 2 of Think and Speak in English Naturally, a mini 7-day journey to help you become a better version of yourself in terms of your English communication. Yesterday, we discovered several mindsets and strategies like self-assessment through recording yourself talking for 5 minutes every day, and vocal trainings, and several other things to help you develop the foundations to keep you on track for the next 7 days of our journey to become a better version. So today we'll be diving into some specifics of English, and it comes with some vocabulary, mimicry, and pronunciation even. Whenever we talk about vocabulary, we think of something like,
hello guys, today we'll be learning these 5 fancy words, and these are the Bengali meanings of these words. Memorize them, learn them, repeat them with me, and we'll memorize all these 5 words and start using them in the next exam.
That's exactly how you think is learning vocabulary. But what if I just say that's absolutely wrong? It's one of the most old technique to learn vocabulary, and believe me or not, you will never learn anything through that process. Some people might, those people who can just memorize shit, but you and I are smart people, so let's do it in a smart way, okay? Before understanding how to learn vocabulary, we need to understand why is it important, so we can connect the dots and understand the process much better. Let's just say I'm giving you a compliment how your, let's just say, a curry was. So I was telling you it was nice. That is okay. But now let me tell you another way. The curry was juicy and tender. There was a slight portion of salt that made it taste delicious. Didn't sound more sexy and expressive because I was more specific about how it tasted, and I could do it because I knew the words to mean what I actually felt. And that's exactly the power of vocabulary. It's not to sound smart, it's just more to be articulate. It's more to be more specific with how you communicate. So that's the most important bit of vocabulary, that it helps you express yourself better. And then comes speed. When it comes to speedy communication, it's not to mean that you have to speak very fast and communication has to be very fast like this, but it's just more about being thoughtful, but at the same time maintaining a very good pace. By pace, it means something that keeps people engaged in the conversation with you.
If you're just too slow to talk, people will lose attention and they will stop listening to you.
So pace is important, and you can only achieve pace when you have a good amount of words there in a usable format, because you already know a lot of words. This is the bad thing, that we already know thousands of words, but when it comes to using them, when we're verbally speaking, we cannot, because we haven't learned them in the proper and ideal way. So let's untangle our thinking. Let's have an overview of a proper system that works great in terms of learning vocabulary. Let me give you some examples of when do we learn better. So if I tell you some of your favorite music, you can tell me exactly like the lyrics without you trying to consciously memorize it. You can sing it, you can hum it at least, but when it comes to vocabulary, we cannot. No matter how many words you daily practice, you'll forget most of the time. So how you want to learn it is with rhythm. You can recall music because there's a rhythm in it. With English, it's this very same process. And by rhythm, I don't mean here some musical and fancy kind of rhythm, rather more of like how you speak and having a bit more exaggeration and emotion. So don't talk monotone. By monotone, I mean that if you're talking like this, that doesn't have any emphasis on any words, it just feels so boring. And when it's so boring, there's no rhythm. And when there's no rhythm and every word doesn't make any sense at all, this is monotone. When you have a rhythm, every word has its own beauty. It's sexy, it's beautiful. So when you're not monotone and you inject some rhythm into how you talk, you better learn things and memorize things. So this is one of the key secrets to learning vocabulary. Just talk in a bit more dramatic way. Mimic one of your favorite actors or actress, and that will help you with that. Next comes timing. So with timing, I mean that it's not that vocabulary is for just only fast talking. This is one of the best perception people have about native speakers, that they think that it is all about fast speaking. It's actually not. It's actually a balanced way. You don't want to be slow and at the same time too fast. It's just like having a natural balance. You don't want to speak like word by word level. What I mean by that, hello, how are you doing? That's word by word level. Now let me tell you, hey, how are you doing? I had a huge flow right there. So that's exactly what you want to go for. So that helps you with the timing. So with vocabulary, I will share some key strategies on how you can work on the timing, and that should help you reinforce the words in your mental picture, so you're better prepared into how you can better leverage these key principles of learning vocabulary. With the vocabulary, context is everything. We try to learn words without understanding the context. In English, every word has some root reason behind its origin. For example, we have so many synonyms. Why are they in the first place? Why was there a need to have so many synonyms? Because each word has a different word origin, and that's exactly what context is. When you're gonna use a word in one context, you can't use it in a different context, though the meaning might be very same. So let me give you one example. So let's try to learn this new word. It's rather very simple one, but let's still take it as an example. Implement. What does it mean? To do something, right? Or to execute on something. So you just simply read this and you just try to memorize it. Implement means to do something. Implement means to do something. Implement means to do something. You actually don't learn anything by that manner. Rather just add some context to it. So include a line to it and you'll better understand the context. We need to implement a better study routine. Now that line makes some sense, and when it makes sense, your brain learns better and it has some connections. Okay, by using the word implement with study routine, I meant I had to have a better study routine. To do or to have a better study routine. You see the kind of subconscious connections your brain would have. So learn words by meaning, by having visuals. Like what would that word be visually? What would that word be in a sentence, in a paragraph? And when you have the context, when you're speaking, subconsciously in that scenario, in that event of your speaking, let's just say you are at a funeral, you will use the words related to funeral because you learned the words in the first place in that context. So that's how subconsciously you can leverage context. Next comes learning from daily life. So let me give you one example. So once I had a disease called diarrhea, and as you know, it's not so fun disease to have, it's gross. So in diarrhea, there are several situations you have to go through, several states of your body and several things. So I went to ChatGPT and told, hey, give me the list of words that would help me describe different feelings and different situations I go through. So I was feeling diarrhea. I got the words right then and I learned the words with context, with proper meaning, with emotions myself because I felt them so I could express them myself. So learn to use your daily events. For example, recently there was Eid, and by the time you're watching this video, it probably went away. So during Eid, what are the types of things that will help you better express yourself? For example, staying up late with your family for Sahri and relatives, what can be the synonyms of relatives, and using more of different bits and bobs that is there related to Eid. Try to learn those words using GPT or any AI, and that should help you because you're in that moment of Eid and you're learning this word. It gets reinforced into your brain and you now practically learn the permanent. So use your daily life. If you're into diarrhea, learn the words related to diarrhea. Next comes speaking patterns. One of the misconception people have is that you have to use word by word when you're trying to speak in English. We don't communicate word by word. If you look at native speakers, you'll see they use a lot of templates. What I mean by templates, for example, you're trying to make a document. You go to internet and download someone else's template and make edits on yourself. That's exactly how you want to use English as well. There are few phrases that's already there in English. You just need to use them as phrases. For example, here you have one example here. One thing I've been thinking about is, I'm not sure. The reason I say this is because, so the benefits of these kind of phrases there are, is that you get so subconsciously integrated with them that you never know when you're even using them. So what happens is that you get time to fill in the blank. So you easily use this line, and to fill up the gap here, you can think for the word while you're speaking this. So this happens highly subconsciously. It can only happen based on how you can learn patterns. And just don't go on internet and just try to learn patterns without any context. Use context with even patterns and even the idioms. So basically that you try to learn more patterns, more phrases. So that helps you better have more assets in your vocabulary. You use them as a template that, okay, you use this template and then you fill it up with the proper meaning. Regarding vocabulary, one of the most unused power is leverage the words you already know. Hard, think. These are very kindergarten level words, right? So you already know them a lot. So try to find the synonyms of them and you will discover so many related words that you can use in different contexts, and that should help you learn better. So when you do this way, it's kind of like you already have a small tree which is spreading out its branches and it goes bigger, and that's exactly how. Rather than saying nice, memorable, hard, mentally draining, think, I suspect, I argue. So these kind of complex language, if you'll be able to learn just through this basic synonyms that you already know. So upgrade your current vocabulary. Just do this practice that for 1 minute, continuously just try to say as many words as possible. And you don't have to do it that way because they don't even work. So just try to say any line in English and see what are the words that you use, and then try to find the synonyms. Okay, this one is one of my favorite ones. So copy to train your brain. So we have everything in our fingertips. So many native speakers, so many news channels from British and American sources. So what you can do is simply go through them and copy. Just copy how they speak, what they speak, how they articulate. Just copy them, and that's one of the best way. Emulate read first before you create yourself. So copy. How do you do it? Let's listen. For example, you're watching some TED Talk. So first listen to what the person says and pause for a moment and repeat whatever the person says. Try to be the person. If they were talking about how to improve confidence through public speaking, so exactly what they say, try to word it differently, but just try to communicate the same ideas with your own words, and that will help you mimic them, and you'll better learn some phrases and words in that context as well. Listen, pause, repeat, and speak it on your own by making it with your own words. But in this approach, you'll start to use the complexities of articulation of the exact same individual who was giving the TED Talk in the first place. So leverage is insane power. So yes, if you don't read a lot of books, you can just skip this part. But regarding books, I feel that whenever you get a book, let's just say I have one here, so I'm just taking this one. So just open this book and just read any lines. The 7 habits of highly effective people embody many of the fundamental principles of human effectiveness. These habits are basic, they are primary. But before we can really understand these 7 habits, we need to understand on our own paradigms and how to make a paradigm shift. So with book, what happens is that the authors have researched very well to write those lines, right? So you get those lines well crafted and it goes into subconscious. You start to use this whenever you start to communicate even. So this is one of the best ways, that just take a book and vocalize. Don't just read in your mind, rather vocalize what you're reading, at least for 5 minutes, and you'll see immediate change. Not only on how you speak and how your vocabulary, also with your muscle trainings as well, that we discussed in the earlier day 1 video. So book mimicry works as well. Just try to not overdo it because you're not hearing from a native speaker. So also try to listen from others. That also helps you to also understand how to pronounce as well. So this one is more of like improving your vocal muscles and also the word crafting and everything. And listening to others is more pronunciation and how to deliver. That's all for today. And don't forget day 1, because those had the fundamental things that you need to do to even carry on the specifics that we're going to discuss with time. So ensure you do the vocal training to improve your muscle memory and overall how it operates to speak in English, and try to exaggerate the sound in the initial days, because we would have lots of inertia to speak in English because we've been naturally Bengali speakers. So exaggerate words more. So what I mean by that is that, let's just say, hello, I'm Anirban, I'm doing very, very good. You see, I'm speaking very exaggerated way. So that's exactly what you need to do, that over exaggerate each word, and it will help you subconsciously make the connections to remember each word, the pronunciation of it. And with time, you'll become very fast in terms of your delivery. Record yourself for 7 days, because it will give you so much of immense insights about how you speak, how you communicate, and it just opens up so many areas of improvement. So ensure you record yourself for the next 7 days as well, as we discussed in the earlier video. As usual, let's give a challenge for day 2. So what you can do is you can leverage the earlier 5-minute videos you were recording, go through it and find 3 words that you can replace there, the 3 most reused words in your vocabulary, and try to find some synonyms for them and understand them in context and just replace them. So there you go. You build rhythm by listening and reading books and also learning to by context. You mimic and speak in context because you know the strategy how to do it. You don't need to get diarrhea to learn those, but of course, whatever situation you are in, you can leverage it. And practice fluency, not perfection. Always know that there are millions of words in English. You cannot learn all of them. You just need to learn a few to just become different, to become expressive in how you communicate. So just don't aim for perfection, rather aim for mastery. And I assure you, you'll reach a great level. That's all for today. Hope to meet you on day 3. Till then, and we'll meet you there.